Father's Day sale, now through the 16th. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide cleans better than the leading competitive free detergent, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues.
Plus, Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
Everyone has a community to lean on. A neighborhood, school, kids' teams, where you worship, work out, or any other place or group where you choose to belong. Communities can provide support when you need it, and even when you don't know you do. Like when it comes to preventing underage drinking and other substance use. You've talked with your kids and shared clear expectations, but you're not with them every minute. Your community members, friends and relatives, teachers and coaches, faith leaders, and other important adults in your kids' lives can be your eyes, ears, and a supportive influence when you're not around, reinforcing your messages with your kids and alerting you to warning signs of underage drinking or other substance use. So talk with your kids about these issues and involve the members of your community to help keep your kids safe. Because when you talk, they hear you.
Welcome to WRMN. This is Out to Lunch. My name is Dennis Sonar Green. I'll be taking you through the next single hour. We are going to be doing our regular Out to Lunch that is normally here from noon to 2 most days. But on Mondays, we've got a very special guest that comes in from the Gail Borden Library for a fantastic show happening at 1 o'clock called The Open Book, brought to you in part by KCT Credit Union as well. Fantastic show to listen to. Lots of good shows right here on WRMN popping up here and there. Stay tuned at different times. The question I want to keep popping up into your head is, I wonder what WRMN's up to. That's the question. When you don't have... I mean, I don't want to be like the end of the night, right? I don't want to be the guy that's like, oh, I don't have nothing to do on a Saturday. Let's call Sonar type of thing. Please call me first if you can. But I hope that eventually that hops into your, I guess, your thought train. That's a car on your thought train. Is I wonder what WRMN's up to. I wonder what's happening in the Fox River Valley. Let's check in with WRMN. That's what I want you to get to. And with that, it's your go-to, right? And we talk about go-tos. We talk about things that we've got that we just do, right? Like right now, if I told you, okay, you're in the grocery store, you got to get peanut butter, boom, brand pops into your head. The one that's sitting in whatever you usually get. You already have one, whether it's a name brand, whether it's a generic. We have started to see more people get for the generic brands, which I think is fantastic. Let's get some more competition out there in the world. But you think of something, right? You have that go-to, you have that thing. So look at it this way. I've got something to sign, right? Do you go for a pen? Are you a blue ink or are you a black ink type of person? Red? Okay, weirdo. What are you, a school teacher? Oh, you're a school teacher. I guess it's okay. Red ink? That's okay. So some people still have color systems with their ink, right? They turn around, they say, here you go with this and that. That's there. Me, black all the way. Sorry, professional. That's where the Navy instilled it into me when they got rid of my lowercase letters. And they said, you don't need these things anymore. Oh, and by the way, black ink only. But you've got that go-to. And what I'm trying to get to this, I know I like to ramble, but you know what? I'm a radio host. That's what we do. What I'm trying to get to is, what is your EDC? We use acronyms a lot in the Navy and in life as well. But these three letters represent everyday carry, right? We all have pockets or a purse or a bag or something. You carry things with you, right? Even if you're just carrying your shoes with you, you're still carrying something. You put shoes on. You carried a thing. So the things that we strap ourselves with, the things that we put on ourselves, the things that we need to have with us before we go out the door. And I'm not saying in an OCD type of side, you know what I mean? Is just that same side of, okay, do I have my wallet? Do I have my keys, right? At least those two things, my phone, the hat trick, right? That we've got going on here. And yeah, maybe you're not a phone person, but you at least have those things. You have your keys if you want to lock up your house. Well, if you're one of those free spirits that just doesn't lock their house or throws their key under a rock and waits for themselves to come back, I mean, whatever. I'm talking about the normal everyday person. We have things that we carry. Me, I carry a Leatherman with me. Little guy, carried it with me. I've had it longer than I've had my wife. It does probably 90% of all of my engineering work. I pull the thing out of my pocket, do whatever little screwing I need to do on a nut, or use my pliers to pull something or cut something, strip something, et cetera, et cetera. I do all of that with my little Leatherman. And as we're coming up to Father's Day, a lot of different fathers have that as a carry. Maybe you're a large Leatherman type of person. You've got the or multi-tool. You've got a SOG or something, or maybe you are classic and you keep the knife, just a regular pen knife, pocket knife, et cetera, et cetera. So I want to talk a little bit about EDC today. What do you carry with you? Is there something unique that you carry with you? I've got layers of my EDC that I've got. I've got whatever I carry on my person, then I've got whatever I carry in my bag, and then the second layer is my car. Now, should it be more organized? Sure, absolutely. But I have a few things that I like to check off to make sure that I've got in the places that I need. First off, I know it's going to sound silly, but you've all been there before. First thing I got, not necessarily on my person, but around me in the three places that I do this activity, I have Taco Bell fire sauce. Sorry, I have to have it. It's part of the entire experience of Taco Bell, and without it, why even have it? So that's first off. And then of course you got your safeties and things like that. I've got a flashlight, and you've got that on your phone too. You've got a flashlight on your phone. I keep a pen light as much as I can, a Sharpie, my Leatherman, my keys, et cetera, et cetera. These are all the things that I keep on us. So there are other things that we take with us. And that's where I want to kind of get also into the ethereal. You know where I like to take it? I like to take it to that cerebral mind frame. What do we take with us? What makes you feel confident when you head out in the world? Prepared for the day, right? Hi, Catherine. It's good to see you over there. Thanks for hopping in on the YouTube side of everything. If you want to get over there, WRMN Radio. But what are the things that you carry with you that you have to make sure you have, right? Shoes, underwear, right? I feel a lot more confident when I wear underwear. So, I mean, I don't want to necessarily get into that nitty gritty for you, but you know that you put on something to appear out into the world. Now, is there a bit of vanity to that? Is there a little bit of pride to that? Is there it really varying degrees of utilitarian versus beauty, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe both. Some people find utility beautiful. Look at the Cybertruck. But that's another argument. But the other thing that we say is, what do you carry with you as far as your confidence? Right? We all start out with an attitude. Am I carrying a joyful attitude? Am I carrying a grateful attitude? Am I walking through life with the ideas that are in my head that help me prepare myself for the day? It's back to that EDC, the everyday carry. Now, that goes again on the other side, too. Things that we carry may not be something that we enjoy, right? A lot of times you don't want to necessarily walk around with a whole wallet, right? But you've got your ID, you've got your payment. The other thing that we've got as well, these cell phones. So maybe the things that we carry and maybe the things that we deem necessary, at least from our perspective, may also be a little harmful to us. So take that back to the perception of the thoughts that we carry. Do we carry a grudge towards somebody? Do we carry a fear? Do we carry a bias? We've talked about biases in labor over here. But that's where I want to talk about today. I want to talk about the EDC. I want to talk about what makes you feel ready to tackle the day when you wake up in the morning. Now, we've always heard to feel productive, right? That's one of the feelings that you should have, the mindfulness that you have in the morning. And you've heard the adage of the, I believe it was a top Marine general who said every day he wakes up and the first thing he does is make his bed. That way he's done something. He feels accomplished. He's already there. He's already on the path towards getting stuff done, right? You hear other people that say, hey, sit down. Be mindful. Bring in the day. You've heard the phrase, or what is the adage of, you can either wake up and say, good God, it's morning, or good morning, God, right? So you're back to that side, that mindfulness that you've got. So you've got the tangible and the ethereal, the things that we can't touch, the things that are in our minds, the things that we perceive that are happening around us, what our brain puts into us. But the tangible is just as important as well. Have you seen those people that, now I'm not one to say either, I don't get a haircut very often, but you see those people that are disheveled, that maybe not care about the way that they look or the way that they're perceived there. Now, they could be just completely oblivious, and one of those people that just says, hey, let's just forego whatever anybody says or whatever anybody thinks. So now that could be perfectly fine. We've all dressed like Adam Sandler before, right? We've all had the big shirts, the sweatpants. I'm going in with sandals and socks to just go get some groceries done. I just don't care anymore. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care. And there's a certain confidence about that, of just like not caring completely. And that's that comfortable side of it. The D. Clyde 50 comes in red ink used by U.S. Customs on documents. Yes, important things, absolutely. Red documents or red ink as you go through there. So that's kind of the difference as we go. Is what are you carrying with you? Good morning, or afternoon rather. I'm 18 minutes behind, I seem. But what are you carrying with you? What are you walking through? And to help me elaborate and to belabor this point further for the next hour, that would be my esteemed executive producer, Ben Demonian Boquist. Thank you, sir, for being here.
Hey, man. Yeah, pleasure as always. Everyday carry. Everybody, especially in today's world, I mean, you got the standard phone, keys, wallet, like the Adam Sandler song.
Yeah.
And beyond that, I mean, it's crazy how much those three things get you through.
And you need them too. Like it's ball and chain almost.
Oh, for sure.
Like you can't leave your house without it. Now to have that OCD side of it or to have that anxiety, that's what anxiety feels like. Leave your phone leave your phone home and go out into the world for an hour.
I love it.
You normal, regular people that just are on the phone all the time, and don't understand necessarily what anxiety feels like. That's what that is.
Sure. Yeah. If you give it that power, to me, I like to relish in those times when I don't have the phone on me. Like I think going on vacation, and for 2 weeks, I got the email responder on. I'm not answering any calls besides, whoever I'm on vacation with today. You want to meet up here or there? Like, yeah. So, but at the same time, everyone's had that where it's like, oh, I'm halfway to work, but I forgot my phone.
Oh, yeah.
Or I forgot my wallet, and you got to turn around, and you can't function in society, it feels like, without that communication or constant.
And when we
whatever.
were talking about this, you had brought up a little bit about the ADHD plight of having everything, of making sure that's going there. Because there's a checklist because you feel there's a checklist. You feel you've missed something in the checklist.
Every day.
But there's something in the checklist that you were just like, what's that thing that's supposed to be there? So to certain people, does it behoove them to write down their EDC?
Oh, absolutely. Sure. Yeah. I mean, really the whole idea of making like a go bag or everyday carry kit is what helps people like me who are forgetful and have severe ADD, I would say. It's almost like I'm battling my own brain every day just to do the same stuff. To get to zero, I have to fight myself every day. And wait, don't forget this, don't forget that. But it's just how it is at this point. It's helped with my patience, I think.
Okay. Like
you said earlier, the things that you just got to say, don't worry about it. These things happen kind of regularly where I'm forgetting this or that. And as long as I could, function and, work around it, there's always at least two ways to solve a problem is how I see it. And you just got to think on your feet and also know yourself, rely on those tactics, everyday carry, go bag, that type of thing. And, I always got those discs for my disc golf in my car at all times, so I don't forget them and end up by a super cool disc golf course and then be kicking myself. So just
I know it's weird to think about the things that we prepare for in modern day society. Because I led off with the hot sauce. I cannot eat Taco Bell without the hot sauce. I can't.
Dry T-Bell?
I might as well just throw it in the trash.
Yeah.
And be done with it and say, I just burnt money. It's terrible. But it's weird to see those things. But if you don't have them, so that's the other side. Something that we have with us every single day, something that's part of our life, something that we keep with us, like my glasses. I don't go anywhere without my glasses. Anywhere.
Yeah.
At all. That's it. Even if I go to sleep, my glasses are within arm's reach of me. So you got to think about the power that you're giving a single item to you. And is it 100% necessary? Yes, this is 100% necessary.
Right, yeah.
Absolutely.
But the phone...
Yes, are we giving that same power? Because the exact same thing. When I go to sleep, guess what else is within reach?
Yep.
And I think a lot of you are like me.
Yeah, sometimes to get up early in the morning, I'll put the phone across the room, so I have to get out of the bed to turn it off and sleep through the alarm.
To actually get it, yeah. But that brings up and I don't want to make this a phone bashing. Use your phone. That's why you got it. That's why you spend all that money. That's why you're paying for it right now.
It's a healthy medium.
And we talk about that balance. We talk about the diet of media. So now, what is the diet between the phone and everything else? But I want to keep this as an EDC of what happens when you don't have the thing that you're looking for. What do you do? Do you freak out? Do you find an alternative? Do you have a backup?
Yeah, hey.
That's how I am.
Heisenberg.
I've been burned so many times of not having a thing Nope.
Oh,
I've got a list of maybe 100 things in my life, and they all have backups.
Sure. I mean, yeah, work around. My backup is thinking through the problem.
That's true.
Relying
Trying to
on myself.
MacGyver it with something else.
Yeah, I rely on backups, backup plans as well. So
Exactly. So what do you do when your EDC isn't every day?
Hey, that's
Out to
Carry
lunch.
kids.
WRMN. Be right back.
Clocking out, drive home with the Drive Time Deal with Matt McNeil on WRMN 1410 AM every weekday from 3 to 6 p.m. I bring you the hottest deals in town, the most intriguing stories, and the tracks that take the edge off rush hour. Tune in on 1410 AM. Catch us on YouTube Live at WRMN Radio or stream through our app. I've got the wheel to steer your evening right. WRMN 1410 AM, your home of radio shopping and the soundtrack to your commute.
Rise and shine, Fox Valley listeners. It's time to kickstart your day with First Shift with Marky B on WRMN 1410 AM. From 6 to 9 a.m., join the chatter that gets you clued in with the latest buzz around town. Don't just sip on your coffee. Let Marky B brew your morning with the perfect mix of news, views, and moves. Dial us in or live stream at WRMN1410.com and make your mornings a whole lot brighter. WRMN 1410 AM. We're the voice of the Valley, and we're here to talk.
This is McGruff the Crime Dog, and I need you to help me take a bite out of crime. Counterfeit products are popping up everywhere. Fake sneakers, fake cosmetics, and even fake pills. Crooks are selling counterfeit versions of just about everything. Last year, billions of dollars worth of counterfeit products were sold in the U.S. Sure, it may seem like saving a few bucks on the things you want isn't a big deal, but counterfeits are usually made in unsafe conditions, potentially using hazardous and even lethal ingredients that could harm you and others. And the money you've paid, it goes right into the hands of criminals and may support child labor, drugs, and even gangs. Smells like big crime to me. So if you still think buying fake products is harmless, think again. And remember, if you don't know where the products came from, how could you know where the money goes? You're smart, buy smart. Go for real. Learn more at mcgruffpsa.org. This message is brought to you by the United States Patent and Trademark Office and the National Crime Prevention Council.
Bender Dental Care, located at 217 North McLean Boulevard in Elgin. Bender Dental wants everyone to be informed, appreciated, and cared for at all times. To prove it, they now offer a new patient exam for just $29. That includes consult, x-ray, exam, and cleaning. Let Bender Dental help you have healthy teeth and gums for a lifetime. Located at 217 North McLean Boulevard in Elgin. Visit benderdentalcare.com.
Beef Villa's 3 locations offer much more than their signature Italian beef. Try the Italian sausage, roasted chicken, and more. There's a big variety of delicious side dishes. Beef Villa uses quality ingredients from homemade recipes, and they purchase top-of-the-quality food products from their vendors to bring you the absolute best tasting of foods. Beef Villa's great service and quality are waiting for you, but you won't be waiting long because it's always hot and fresh. Visit beefvilla.com. Here at WRMN Radio, we try to connect with the community and discuss important issues, like our current mental health crisis. Here's Lori Baker, President and CEO of AID.
I think most people, when they see young children thinking about suicide at the ages of 5 and 6 and 7, I mean, that's shocking to me that children even know that they want to harm themselves somehow. I know it's difficult. I definitely feel the pinch. We all feel the pinch at the gas pump, at the grocery store, right, in our rents, but I think most people could handle 27 cents a day to help kids and seniors and people experiencing homelessness.
Discussions like this take place on the First Shift, weekday mornings from 6 to 10, right here on WRMN AM 1410 and WRMN 1410 Radio on Facebook.
Welcome back to WRMN. You're listening to Out to Lunch. Ben, I'm thinking about branding wise and SEO wise. I'm thinking about turning it into the number 2.
Out to lunch.
To lunch.
Hey.
My problem is I want to have 2 people in studio to do that. So it's an out to lunch. Kind of put that in there. Mm-hmm. Or we treat it like a 2-hour thing. And then it's out to lunch, 2 hours of out to lunch.
Yeah. Sure.
So just brainstorming a few things. Let us know. info@WRMN1410.com. Another great place to go. Catherine Edwards comes in. Great topic. Made me really think. Not sure I've got an answer. Yeah. She's not talking about the EDC. She's talking about the red ink.
Oh, yeah. I missed that part of it.
She's talking about red ink versus black ink versus blue ink. That's the interesting topic, which I'm okay to shift over to as well.
Hey, I mean, it's one of those things that, like so many other things, penmanship, calligraphy, cursive writing, it's kind of fallen by the wayside to where people are like, okay, like I'm going to do a coloring drawing with red and blue, and maybe like I'll write a Post-it note with the black ink, but it really doesn't matter. Like I'll just do red or blue either way. But back in the day, it was like, obviously this is my red pen for editing and corrections, or as you were saying earlier, the whatever other work, bank work, customs, stamps, original stamps, things like that.
That's true.
My first tattoo was just a red stamp.
It was a red stamp? Mm-hmm. So that you could hide it later, or like the red fade a little bit more? Why did you pick red?
Yeah. Well, the idea was just that it was like a office. Like I wanted it to look like I was a piece of paper.
Established.
Yeah, exactly. Like next, someone rubber stamp me.
It's there. And that's the thing too. So yes, so this is a conversation I have had before. I was a sonar technician for a number of years, out to sea for a while as well. Locked in a room with other people for 12 hours, listening to whales. So we talk about a lot of things. So the ink has come up. There's layers to it, right? So black ink is formal, official. This is the baseline, right? This came from a copier. This came from the system. Is what black ink represents. Either it came from a copier, or it came from it's there. It's official. It's there.
Standard,
right? Blue is information obviously added by another person, not a photocopy or because you can add stuff. I can photocopy it and then just hand that thing to somebody else, and that usually would have black ink on it, and you would think, oh, it came from the system. But if you hand me a piece of paper that's got blue ink on it, that's personal from a person.
Sure.
Right? It almost proves that it's personal from that person.
I just haven't been in that situation.
Yeah. I deal with a lot of paperwork in a lot of everything, like Navy-wise and the business side of it as well. So then red is correcting information.
Yeah.
And these are just the perceived generic colors. You know what I mean?
Got it. So, yeah, the initial company memo about a meeting, all black.
Black.
Some other detail. Jerry needs to bring donuts.
Mm-hmm. You write changes to it to hand to your secretary. You do that in blue.
Yeah. This is Jerry. I'm bringing donuts.
They misspelled something in the black ink. You use red ink.
And then, the final send out would be red. Mm-hmm. We're actually doing it, whatever time.
Exactly. And that's usually the standard. Now, by all means, everybody's got their own whatever, but that is the usual perceived, hey, this is why we use it.
Back in the good old days when you'd get your paper returned or whatever, or your test graded, always marked up with the red ink.
Yeah, I always got a C. I always got a C. It was a see me after class.
Yes.
Is what I would always get.
I got F's that I changed into A's and gave to my parents, and they put on the fridge.
Just block letters now. I don't know. He just writes like that.
Yeah.
He doesn't do the point. It's really weird. He doesn't do the point. But that's it. That's at least how most people perceive the ink colors. Now there are some people that have, like, I don't want to spill the tea on too many people, but I know somebody who uses different colors in their calendar, and that way they can keep track of it from there. I do that for my whiteboard, but I use this marker and not necessarily ink at that point. So I'm just saying regular ballpoint pen guy. For my EDC, what I carry with me. Me as an engineer, ballpoint pen, no sir.
Oh, nice. It's stuck into the wall over there.
Did it stick over there? Oh, no. Almost threw it too hard. Sharpie. I'm an engineer. Sharpie.
Yeah.
Because I can write on anything with it, including myself, if I need to.
Uh-huh.
And that way I don't have to carry a actual piece of paper with me. You need that with a ballpoint pen or whatever. So Sharpie. I'm looking at going paint marker.
Ooh,
but
fancy.
I did that once in the Navy, and everybody hated it.
Why?
They were like, because I was writing on everything. Everything was paint marker.
Ooh,
like they didn't like it because it doesn't work too well on like actual paper.
Yeah.
Sharpie is okay. Like if you don't push down so much with a Sharpie, you can kind of get away with it. Paint marker, no.
It's like one of those fine tip kind of.
Yeah, like you got to shake it. And then that's back to writing on everything. But that, I guess, so now let's talk a little bit about what our EDC changes, Ben. If your day changes, right? Because so we left the last segment talking about what happens if you don't have the stuff, right? And if I don't have my EDC, I can't do something. Oh, I left my keys here. I got to go back to get it. Or there's a spare over here. We talked about backups or my friend has one, or I've got one at the office. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
So let's look at it this way. What if your day changes? Not your carry. So you got your EDC. We talked about if your carry changes. All of a sudden, I don't have the thing that I'm supposed to carry, and it changes. What happens if your day changes? Now you got to go across town to do something, or you got to do this. Oh, normally I keep a pen on me. Oh, normally I do this. Oh, I'm at the office and I have that. Like that kind of side of it. At what side do you like start to prepare for outside of your regular everyday to bring something into your EDC?
I mean, that's just part of being, not to sound like a middle-aged jerk, but that's just part of being an adult.
Being an adult, yeah.
Every day is different, and you should be able to rely on the one thing that you really can't get rid of every day is your brain, and situationally being aware of situations.
Hey.
And sometimes all you need is just these.
So like let's put it in the practical side, right? Is the MacGyver aspect of it, because the guy only walked around with like a bag. Like I think in like the second episode, I'm starting to watch it a little bit more, but in like the second episode or so, he was like, well, what are you going to do with all that stuff in your bag? And it's like, the bag ain't for the stuff that's in it. It's for the stuff I find along the way.
Yep.
Is that kind of aspect to it. It's like you have a bare bones EDC, or let's look at, I like watching bushcraft. I like watching people go out there, build an actual shelter with just like 4 tools in a forest. I love watching that stuff.
It's great.
And a lot of that comes with, it's either the tool or it's the education. So you're still carrying it with you. You're still carrying the solution with you. You're still carrying the way to solve those problems that show up throughout the day, or those challenges, rather. It's not necessarily problems, but the challenges throughout the day. You have your EDC both in your pocket and in your head to have it, right? You don't go into a meeting not knowing necessarily what you're going to talk about. You come prepared. You bring something with you.
Yes.
You carry it with you.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's the whole dichotomy of physical stuff, everyday carry, and just you're being prepared. You carry your experiences with you.
There it is.
At all times.
That's that motivational Monday we're trying to get to, and that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to say, look, You carry more with you than you think. Ben's over here saying, look, there's two problems to every solution, or two problems to every solution. No, scratch that, reverse it. So yes.
Intrinsically.
Yeah. And that's what I mean is you have to be able to pivot. You have to be, I've heard it before. I don't know where I heard it, but Semper Gumby, always flexible, super flexible.
Like it.
Right? You have to be that in that aspect of it to where you have the tools around you. So here, before we go to break and do our announcements and everything else again, here's an example for it. You carry the things that you really want. Maybe those things are over there. When we moved here up to Chicago, we packed everything up down in Florida. And the boss lady was like, what do we do? Everything is not fitting. And I opened up the boxes, said, well, let's see how I can help. Maybe we can find the places to squeeze or whatever.
Tetris.
Yeah, absolutely. I worked at UPS for a little bit, so I know how to
nice.
Orient it and do all that.
Did you get strong working there?
I did. Yeah, absolutely. If you look at my brother's arms are twice or like
the ripped,
like skinnier than mine. Yeah, like UPS is what got me upper body strength, and that was just playing real life Tetris every day. Here's a 30-pound box. Put it somewhere.
Sure.
So I look at it and I go, okay, well, let's look at your box. Let's look at what's going on here. And there's hangers. Each thing that we were packing had hangers. And she's like, well, we got to have hangers when we get there. We're going to have whatever. And I said, look, I love you so much. You're the best lady in the entire world. And I got to say these things because she's probably listening too. Or you guys are all going to tattle on me because I pulled her up on the air.
We understand.
There are plastic hangers in Chicago.
Right.
So if we need, take a few so that we can hang up the stuff once we get there and the rest that's in storage or whatever. But it's worth the $15 up there to not have to worry about it right now.
Yeah, minus the headache.
So that's also part of your EDC is knowing where the things are. Costanza, right?
Yeah.
Costanza knew where every single public toilet was in New York.
Thinking, okay.
Yeah, in Seinfeld, right? Everybody knows who Costanza is, right?
Yeah, I just didn't pull the that reference out of nowhere.
But yeah, Costanza, he knew every single one. You could tell him, hey, where are you? I'm at the corner of wherever. Okay, go 3 blocks down, and that third floor bathroom's unlocked usually.
Which became an app.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not necessarily about the information. Knowing where you can get the information helps. It's the same thing for me, is I don't have to know 100% my inventory in my bag. I sit about once a month, maybe once every 2 months, I'll sit down and I'll go through my whole bag. And I'll go, this is what should be in there. This is what shouldn't be in there. I replenish whatever I used. And then I go. Now, I don't have to remember anything that's in my bag. Other than just like, that seems like something I'd put in my bag. As long as I just remember one thing, my bag.
Yeah.
So you're back to having an efficient EDC and getting rid of the things that you don't need. And I'm trying to make a ethereal play on this, but it's not really coming across as well as I'd like it to. I think mostly because I only have 15 minutes left to take you guys down this rabbit hole. And I think that's something in our Motivational Monday is we need to think about the things that we carry with us. What are we taking? Is it helping us? Is it mandatory? Is it hurting us? Is it too heavy? Can we find something smaller? Is this thing so heavy and burdensome that maybe we just need to take a piece of it with us for the reminder that it's there?
Situational awareness.
Got it. You got it, buddy. Let's take one more break. When we come back, we're going to get into some of these amazing announcements that we've got going on. Elgin History Museum has a classic car show. There is all kinds of things that are happening over the weekend and all of the things that are happening coming up. Speaking of coming up, Don't miss Open Book next hour. Yes. Gail Borden Library.
Fresh intro.
You want to talk about fresh intro? That's right.
Smooth talking sailor.
Ooh, hello.
The smooth
This
voice.
is Smooth Steve with K Jazz.
Yeah.
Welcome to Java the Hutt.
I'm seriously in love with the intro. It's so great.
That's it there. You're listening to Out to Lunch. Have some fun with us. Give us a call, 847-931-1410, or hop on chat over here with Catherine. See you on the other side.
Beef Villa is a family-owned restaurant that has been in business for over 50 years. With homemade recipes made with quality ingredients, Beef Villa's great service and quality is served hot and fast. For the menu, catering locations, or for an application to join the Beef Villa team, visit beefvilla.com. Saturdays mean cruise nights, weather permitting, on Spring Street in South Elgin. Visit beefvilla.com. Attention all Schaumburg Boomers fans. Come out to Wintrust Field on Tuesday, June 11th at 6:30 p.m. versus the Lake Erie Crushers for $1 hot dog night, presented by Gordon Food Service. On Wednesday, June 12th, it's Pro Wrestling Night featuring Matt Cardona and Al Snow. The meet and greet is a free event with a valid Boomers game ticket. A special ticket package is available that will guarantee you a spot to meet Matt Cardona and Al Snow. One autograph and one photo opportunity per person.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 800-699-9043.
Roll into Bolero in Algonquin or Roselle and wake up with a story to tell. Bolero is bowling, gaming, dining, and nightlife with a twist. Score a sweet deal every day of the week and save big by checking out the daily deals online. Team up with your friends and hit the lanes by forming your own social club. Clubs offer lively competition and laid-back fun for everyone. From beginners to pros, make new friends, bowl, and hang out at a happening place. Visit Bolero.com.
Overtime. You want to work less of it, so you need your crop protection to work more of it. When you add Taparan or Last Chance Pro adjuvants from CHS, they will. Designed for maximum efficacy, Last Chance Pro improves the uptake and translocation of herbicides, while Taparan helps activate herbicides for better performance against tough-to-control weeds. Ask your local CHS retailer how Taparan and Last Chance Pro adjuvants can put your crop protection to work.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. No matter the time of the day, WRMN 1410 AM is your platform to voice your views, share your stories, and connect with the Valley like never before. We're more than just radio. We're a community conversation that's always live, always local, and always looking for your input. Want to chime in on the drive time deal with Matt McNeil? Got a hot tip for First Shift with Marky B? Or maybe you've got a question for a one-on-one with Leah. Now's the time to make your voice heard by calling Studio 14 at 847-931-1410. 1410. That's 847-931-1410. You can join in the dialogue from wherever you are by commenting on our YouTube live streams at WRMN Radio. Hit the subscribe button to get notified when we go live and bring your comments to the table. It's easy, it's fun, and hey, it's what neighbors do. We talk, we listen, we engage. You're not just the audience, you're part of the show. Call in, comment, and let's make radio interactive. WRMN 1410 AM, where your words are part of our wavelength.
Welcome back to Out to Lunch. WRMN 1410. That's WRMN1410.com. If you're interested in following us on the internet. I know some of you are there. Been seeing you pop up here and there on the YouTube side. Been sending over some emails here and there as well. info@WRMN1410.com. Thanks for sending those over. We are trying to make a radio station for you. Not for me. If I wanted to make a radio station for myself, it'd be done already.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's what I'm trying to put together right now for camping. I told you this, but I'm putting together a station for camping. I'm tired of listening to regular radio, at least playlist radio. You know what I mean? Like today's hot whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, it's the same 7 songs.
You're living the dream though, because it's like you got the opportunity afforded to you to just craft your own personal radio station.
Yeah,
make it. You could do all the imaging and all the fun.
That's what's going to be fun about it.
Yeah, and also it's something every family reunion or like party that you got your job already set up. So it's like, and you're incorporating what you do professionally into that. So that's my cousin Sonar, the radio guy. Listen to his radio station.
Yeah, you put together this for us. So I've got a link for it for them. I may secretly leak it onto some of our social medias just so people can kind of listen to the. It is the pirate radio link. It is. So if you've already got that link. So yeah, I'm converting pirate radio, the digital pirate radio, the deeper. We're changing that into my I guess my reunion station. Yes. I don't know what to call it yet.
All right.
But yeah, so I was just thinking about that because there are annual things that we go through and everything like that. And part of the fun that we've got going on Friday, there are lots of things going on Friday. First off, we got some golfing. Golfing's happening on Friday. They hear us on the other side of the street?
I think so.
Oh, that's cool.
I just wanted to wave.
I didn't want to turn it up that loud.
No.
But either way, shout out to the Shawarma stop next door. Anyway, where was I? Oh, jeepers! I just lost.
Talk about your pirate radio.
So the rituals as they come on Friday is what it is. Yeah, pirate radio to rituals every year for the thing. Exactly. Sorry, let me walk my way back through. Notes, right? Flag Day is part of that day, and that's on Friday. So there is a Flag Day ritual going on commemorating the birth of the American flag. The ceremony will take place at 4:30 at Veterans Memorial Park, which is located between the rear of the Gail Borden Library and the Fox River. So hopefully Open Book will talk a little bit about that. Sure. And I think we should go out there at least to take some pictures and a few other things here. Yeah. So I will actually be at Buddy's on Friday.
Okay.
Buddy's over here. So you know where, what is it? Is when Dundee turns out and it starts going towards 90.
Yeah.
So where this construction's happening over here on Summit.
Mm-hmm.
So Buddy's over there is brand new, opening. I believe this is the only Buddy's chain in Illinois, is what I've heard.
Buddy's
Rental.
Oh.
Yeah. So you've got all the other places that are out there, right? The big shops that are out there. This is a independently owned franchise. So they're just working with the Buddy's name to come over, And Buddy's is known nationwide, and they're trying to kind of seed start Buddy's name here in Illinois. And it is a rent-to-own buy furniture.
Okay.
So if you're looking for a new, like I've gone to a couple places. I mean, I'm still kind of paying off one of the ones that I've got, which I don't even know when that stops, right? You go to the nameless people and you have no idea. You could go over to Buddy's and just say, hey, I've been paying this for a little bit. How many more do I got? Oh, you only got 2 more left. Oh, that's great. Well, I only got 2 more left. What can I get once I pay those off?
That, ladies and gentlemen, is a great way to obtain rolling credit. Get that credit score bumped up.
So that's the problem, is when you turn around and you pay off all your credit cards and you have zero debt. No debt at all. The credit card company goes, well, you want to be out of the game? You're out of the game. And they start to lower your credit score. So turning around and saying, you know what, I would kind of like a little bit better lawn furniture.
Yeah.
Or I would like that TV. My TV could use a couple extra inches on it. What you do is you go over to a place like Buddy's. I recommend going to Buddy's. You go over there and you say, okay, this TV is X amount of dollars right now. So I could buy it right now, but I don't necessarily have it. But I could probably, I'll tell you what, if I saved up for it, I could probably get it. And then you turn around and you calculate how much you would save up and say, okay, well, if I did $50 a month, how long would it take me to pay this thing off? And you start working on a payment plan. It's just like saving up. Like if you were already going to, like Dave Ramsey tells you all the time, save up, right? Put it away to buy a thing.
To have the capital.
Exactly. But if you already know that you're putting that money away to save it, get the thing now and just put that savings in as a payment.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a great way, because like if you buy furniture straight up, it's just like anything else that's instantly devalued.
Instantly.
It's like there's not like you could recoup and sell your furniture, right? Once you get your furniture, that's it. If you bought it, and with rental, it's a way to.
And this is rent to own.
Yeah,
is the even better part.
Way better.
So once you're done paying it, you then can sell it.
Yeah.
So you're done paying it. Go sell it, get some money back, and then go back to it. Go back to your $25 payment.
For sure. Yeah, that's a way to think of it. Like constantly upgrade your whatever feng shui.
It's like a lease.
Yeah,
that you can sell at the end.
It's like the first apartment I got, the second apartment I got, which was me getting my own place. So a big step up.
Lawn chairs and milk crates.
Yeah, exactly. I like the first thing was like, how do people sit in their homes? Like, how is couch possible? Like friend, just
before you even talk about feng shui, you're just like, I don't want to sit on the floor.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's just start out at that.
Oh, this carpet is nice. Yeah, better really like it. Jeez. Oh yeah, and places like that really saved my my comfort.
So we'll be out at Buddy's Furnishing over at Dundee. I'll have to get the address for it. Leah will more than likely say it at some time today, and we'll get that. We are going to be over there for Out to Lunch. It's going to be fantastic. Other things that are happening over here, American Legion has cruise nights. June 12th is the next one that is up. That is 5 to 8 p.m. If you like looking at cars, if you like hanging out with some buddies, drinking some beers, that's the place to go on Legion Cruise Nights. Wednesdays, so you've got June 12th, and then you've got July 10th is the next one that they've got for there. But fear not, Sunday, July 14th, for you motorheads out there, Elgin History Museum has a classic car show. Starting at 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., so you still have a chance to go to the other one. I'm sorry, this is 14th. Wrong days. That's Sunday the 14th. And that is at 360 Park Street, Elgin, Illinois, featuring 2 live bands, Rick Lindy and the Wild Ones, and Flat Creek Highway.
They're all over the place.
Yeah, Rick Lindy and the Wild Ones, absolutely. Chicagoland Thunderbird Car Club will have their own separate awards. It's going to be a good time. Yeah. Head out there if you like some cars, if you like some things. Again, What's WRMN up to? Find out. WRMN1410.com. See you tomorrow. Stay tuned for Library at Open Book. is their top priority. And now, here's your host, Leah Unser.
And hello, everybody. Welcome to our wonderful Monday day here. First of all, it's a beautiful sunshiny day. I want to welcome everybody to Open Book, brought to you by with the Gail Borden Library, brought to you by KCT Credit Union. And today we have the opportunity to have two people joining me in studio. Many of you might recognize Miss Sadia, right to my left here, as well as a new one to the studio. She is the manager of volunteer services, and something we're really going to get in depth about today. I know we've kind of given snippets on it and started talking about it and the importance and the need for volunteers at organizations that we have in the community, let alone the Gail Borden Library. So we're going to say welcome to Miss Jeannie Ziegler. How you doing, Jeannie?
Thank you. Doing well. Thank you for having us here.
Absolutely. Now, I happen to know that when we were talking about the Gail Borden Library, this is the whole thing that started our puzzle. And I'm going to continue every week, Sadia, you're going to see this, to put this little thing up on the air. And we've got copies in the studio. So when the new ones comes in, I think we only have one left. So I know they're going that quickly. Yep. So, but you can get it at the public library. That's easy peasy, any one of their locations. But this is the one that started this whole event, is because I started thumbing through here and seeing all the different activities, things that were happening there. And between this and going to the 150th anniversary gig, I ended up getting a bunch of knowledge just telling about the library. And I says, you know what? People need to know this. Yeah, we can't wait for them to just happen across it. Eventually, people need to know more about it. So I want to thank both of you guys for joining us today. Sadia is the one that worked with me so well. And we just sat and said, yep, you're right. We had the same mindset, and we knew this is what it had to happen. We just had to make it happen. So she's the glory behind bringing in all these wonderful co-hosts each week. So we want to thank you, Sadia, for that. Now, next up, because we're going to get back to Sadia in a little bit, but I want to introduce once again Jeannie Ziegler, the manager of volunteer services. Jeannie, how long have you been with the library?
So I'm celebrating my 5th year at Gail Borden Library.
Nice. Yeah. Are you from the community?
I actually live in the community next door, Hoffman Estates, but learning how much this community loves the library and just how we can do so much more with the whole community because of our volunteers. Oops,
absolutely.
Going right into volunteerism. Sorry about that.
No, but that's true. And like I said, especially if you're not familiar with the library to start with, and then knowing that you've got that much passion behind it in the community, I suppose is very heartwarming for you, knowing that it's going to be a good gig.
It is. And really every community out there just embraces volunteerism. And it's hard to believe that in 2023, volunteers at Gail Borden served over 11,000 hours. And, so it means that Gail Borden helps the library, and everyone that is part of Elgin knows that, but we can do so much more because of our volunteers.
Got it. And so I think the hardest part when people come in and they want to volunteer, everybody says, and I'm going to ask you straight up, Jeannie, because everybody says, oh, I can do it. But then there's one thing to promising it and then one thing to fulfilling that promise. So are you able to, within it, and I know we're going to break down the questions that you ask the prospects out there, but are you able to kind of set aside, well, how much involvement can you do, and then whittle it down so you're going to have a good fit? Tell us how that works.
So people call me a matchmaker.
I like that.
So what I try to do is understand as a volunteer, what are you really looking for? What kind of commitment are you making? Was it once a week, once a month? You're not sure, those big events. We'll talk about that. And we'll talk about some other things that my standard list of questions will be, do you like working with kids? Do you like working with seniors? How comfortable are you with technology? And most importantly, why do you want to volunteer, and why do you want to volunteer at Gail Borden?
Okay. Now, the reason for kids is because obviously there's a lot that the library does with kids and children out there. So what are some of the examples of volunteer sections of the library that it would involve children?
So our kids space runs a lot of special events. as well as our branches run our Let's Play Friday. We have a lot of summertime activities. And the bottom line is, I can say this as someone who's got a college student now, my tolerance for working with kids has definitely gone.
Yeah.
So, but I know the people that are out there that love working with
honesty.
kids.
That's so true.
So we'd rather know that up front.
But that's true though, because there are people I find, and I brought this up every week since we've been doing the Gail Borden's open book segment and series, is that I went to it and I did it with my kids when they were little. And then, you kind of separate away from it because your kids are all grown up. Now I'm starting to have the second generation. I have grandchildren, and that's coming around full circle. So you're almost introducing a whole new element, and knowing that this has been around 150 years and the longevity of people, residents in the community here, I can see how you're going to have that kind of repeat anyway. So if you're done with kids, there's plenty of other areas here. She's got it written down. There's plenty of other areas here.
And I hear those stories from our volunteers too, our people that are applying, is, they grew up in the library and they've taken their kids and now they have the time. And so it's very important for them to want to give back. So we want to make sure that we have the right fit for them.
I think, and if you're a mom too, you realize how important the library was when your kids were growing up. You realize how important reading is. And like we had Nikki here last week that was talking about the summer reading program. And you realize how important that is to a child's education. Also, overall, teaching a child to read and the importance of that time that you spend together with the kids, is very significant.
Well, and the library is changing. Every year we're reinventing ourselves. And what the library was when I was a kid is much different than what it is today. And it's all about curiosity. And our programs keep reflecting that as well.
Got it. So again, we're talking with Miss Jeannie Ziegler today. She is the manager of volunteer services, joining Sadia at the table for our open book edition. Now, what about for some of the seniors? So what are some of the areas at the library that seniors might enjoy?
So we do have our lifestyle enrichment group. And this is truly a special group of volunteers. So throughout a 2-month time period, they will go to the 27 community care facilities within Elgin. And their team they'll meet in the parking lot and they'll gather themselves up and then they'll just go in and perform. So they've got a theme that lasts for the 2 months. Every situation's a little different, but it's always going to have a story, an activity, and a craft. And we like to do teams because it's more fun when you do things together, but also the fact that, if you've got that last minute doctor's appointment that comes up or something happens, you've got a team of support that can help you out for those particular times. So we like to say in those roles, we have a Johnny Carson and an Ed McMahon role for everyone. So if you like to be in front of people, we've got the role for you. And if you like to be more behind the scenes, then we have that role for you as well. What we do is we send out a calendar telling you where we are for the next 2 months. And that gives you the ability to sign up and join our team with that particular, lifestyle enrichment program.
Got it. So quite often when you hear volunteers, it's always the same names that pop up on the board. How many volunteers do you guys think you have right now?
So it depends. We have 3 different types of volunteers. We've got our adult volunteers, which on record we have a little over 400.
Wow, really?
We do, yes. Every month we have probably about 60 to 80 volunteers, as long as we don't have a big event going on. And that definitely increases, like with our last Saturday's event. But then we also have our Studio 270 volunteer corps, and that's high school kids. And we have our Volunteens, which is middle school. So
Now,
together we have about 800.
That's what the other thing is. I think they brought that up last week, the Volunteens, I think. Is that what you called it, right? Volunteens, right. Which is brilliant. But that came up last week, too, that the different areas, because there's a lot of teens out there that are looking at fulfilling a volunteer curriculum or for their resume. You know, there's tons of reasons that people would have to go out. And even organizations do volunteer hours, you know, if you're in groups or things like that. Now, last week, I think, was one of the first weeks that we had, and maybe the week before, that we had people that were from multiple locations. Like we had one from the South Elgin location. We had one from the Rayco location. When it's volunteers, do they pretty much stay at one specific location, or will some of them travel to the various?
The way the volunteer roles are listed, when they're advertised, we do list the location that they're at. Most of our volunteering will take place at Main Library just because we're larger and we've got more of the programs, but we definitely have needs at Rayco and South Elgin. Those tend to be more family focused, you know, such as
makes sense.
During the summer, our Let's Play Friday, we've got a bubble show coming up, I believe, fairly soon. In our fall, we've got Rayco Fest, which is, again, for volunteers, all hands on deck, and just a whole day of family fun.
Now, I was looking on here, just this, in 2023, volunteers served over 11,000 hours. That's impressive. First of all, it says a lot for you and the organization, the Gail Borden Library overall. I know we have several people who call into the show that volunteer there. There's, I think, just the gratifying part of it. You know, it always feels good to volunteer time anyway. Why do you think the majority of people do volunteer? They're bored, they want to give back. How does that rank in? Because there's one of your questions was, why do you want to volunteer, right? Or how much time can you dedicate?
It's a little bit of everything. And really, we get volunteers of all ages. You know, some people are just new to that next chapter of retirement and trying to understand what they want to do. They want to stay busy. Other people, you know, just want to fill time after work or weekends. So it's understanding, again, you know, how often do they want to commit, and we want to truly make it a win-win opportunity for them. You know, my job is to let people know that even if it's only 2 hours a month, that helps make up that 11,000 hours. So don't think that even if you can only give 2 hours of your time that we don't appreciate it. We certainly do.
Now, tell me a little bit about the different group or segments, if you could, of volunteers. So I know you had shared some paperwork with me that was talking about Gale Sales volunteers and Lifestyle Enrichment volunteers. So can we real quickly talk about, let's get into one of those, before we go to the break, just to let people know the categories of where they might be able to find time to participate.
Sure. So our Gale Sales is our bookstore. So we've got a couple different segments. We actually have a pop-up book sale coming up this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Good to know.
So we have volunteers that are behind the scenes right now getting things ready for it, and we'll start setting up for that on Thursday. So we have our retail room that is open when the library is open, and you can buy books for $1 and $2, you know, and just find some amazing treasures. We have volunteers stocking that 5 days a week. We check our donation bin 3 times a day, and we sort all those books. The books that don't make it to the retail room right now, they get boxed for our September book sale. And that's our All Hands on Deck book sale, where we take over our community rooms and we end up unpacking about 500 boxes of books. So
for some reason, she's gotten me by surprise twice now. I thought you were going to say 500 books, but then she says, no, 500 boxes of books, just like the volunteer hours on there. But so that's all with people volunteering books. Is there ones that have, you know, just made their way past being on the shelves at the library, or is it all volunteers? Because I know we have another person I went through when my mom passed away, donated a bunch of books because, you know, you've got all these paperback and hardcover books. Do they accept all of those at the library if people want to make a donation?
We do. In the northeast corner of our parking lot, there is a donation bin, and we accept books of, you know, of all kinds there. And if you've got a big donation, such as an estate donation, give us a call and make an appointment. That way we can help you unload it. But definitely, if it's just a couple books, go ahead and put them in the donation bin. And then the book sales and that retail room is all of those books, as well as weeded material from the library.
And that's good to know. And if somebody has a question, or if they want, maybe they are doing an estate sale and have an overabundance of books that they would like to donate, can we throw a phone number out there? Or is it just give them a website, or what would you recommend they do to set up that appointment?
So you can certainly call the library or just give me a call directly. That number is 847-289-5840.
289-5840.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, 847-28. I'm going to put that up on our page here. That's the only reason I wanted to double check on that. Okay, and what's another area for that scale sales? And again, that's $1 or $2 books on there for that book sale, and that's coming up this weekend, right?
This weekend, Friday.
Everything. Is anybody else knowing how many things are happening on the 14th of June? There's everything is going on this Friday.
That is Father's Day weekend, and so we do emphasize a couple of things. We just kicked off summer reading, so definitely we're going to have a lot of children's books, and we call this particular pop-up sale, we call more beach reads. So a lot of mystery fiction, just those easy to read paperbacks and hardcovers. So come find a new treasure.
And I want to just take a little side bender here, just because that's a great segue to lean into Sadia, is there are authors, like a lot of the books, anybody who is an avid reader, I know that you've had, and I think it happens all year long, you get authors, whether it be virtual or in-house, that will come and do kind of like a talk about their, right? What's it called?
Book talk.
Book talk. Come on in a little bit.
Book talk or author talk. So yeah, we've had those, and on a regular basis, we just signed up with the Library Speakers Consortium, so we have every month at least 2 to 3 virtual author talks. So be sure to take advantage of those. You just sit at home and watch these talks. They're live and they are recorded, so if you do happen to miss it when it's on, you can always watch the recording. We have a whole website for those talks that you can go back and check it out. We've had a lot of well-known authors on there. Just to name one, John Stamos was a few months back, and his recording is still up there. Just coming up in June, we've got, Frida McFadden.
And if anybody doesn't know her, she is the one that did Housemaids, and I think Housemaid's Tale after that. So it's like a Handmaid's Tale. She did a Housemaid's. It's a good book. But these are like significant, well-known authors.
Yes, big-time authors. Yeah.
And I like the fact, too, that some of them, not all of them, but some of them are both virtual and in-house, right?
In-house, we don't have as many. These are all virtual.
Yeah, which is wonderful.
Yes.
It's so great. Okay, and who else is coming in?
And then June 20th is Tiffany Jewell, Unpacking a History of Systemic Racism in the American Education System. So also very good.
Tiffany Jewell, she's got like 2 or 3 books out about like the anti-racist kind of thing and living in that type of society. And like you said, breaking it down. They're good reads, really good reads.
A lot of good topics they cover. So, again, every month, 2 to 3 we've got. So make sure to check out our website or the newsletter. They're always listed in there. We're getting some kids authors actually for the summer.
Really?
Yes.
I love that. Well, what we're going to do is take this moment here and go to our first commercial break. Then we're going to come back with Jeannie Ziegler telling us about some of the other volunteer areas of the library that you might want to get involved in. For now, I want to remind you, you're listening to Open Book. It's brought to you with the Gail Borden Library and by KCT Credit Union. We'll be back with more in just a bit.
Join the Boomers June 4th at 6:30 versus the Florence Yalls for Educators Appreciation Night, presented by Waterville Advisors. Come out to Wintrust Field on June 5th at 6:30 p.m. versus the Florence Yalls, presented by Encore Village of Schaumburg. On June 6th at 6:30, versus the Yalls, it will be Busch Light Bucket Hat Giveaway. The first 1,000 fans 21 and over will receive a Boomers bucket hat thanks to Busch Light. Also 2-for-1 Busch Light beer all game.
Imagine planting, tending, and raising your crops all season long, only to discover a micronutrient deficiency is robbing your yield potential. Once you spot signs of nutrient deficiencies, it can be difficult to bounce back. Get ahead of manganese, boron, and copper deficiencies with Moxon from CHS. Designed with a patented Levosol chelate, Moxon increases nutrient availability and provides your crops with the nutrition they need. Ask your local CHS retailer about the power of Moxon.
If you can't decide on dinner, have everything. Golden Corral at 154 South Gary Avenue in Bloomingdale has an endless buffet with over 150 items to choose from. There's an unmatched variety of food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, prepared fresh throughout the day. If you're craving something specific, call or check out their menu. Golden Corral rotates the buffet often. Golden Corral in Bloomingdale. They're the only one for everyone. Visit goldencorral.com.
For many years, Italian Pizza Kitchen in Roselle has been serving quality and excellence. Italian Pizza Kitchen is family-owned with experience in preparing authentic Italian cuisine with the freshest, highest quality ingredients since the 50s. Your food is always prepared fresh with the same traditions, recipes, and standards that they've perfected over the years. Italian Pizza Kitchen has a passion for great cuisine and customer service. Visit ItalianPizzaKitchen.com.
Do you own an annuity, either fixed rate, indexed, or variable? Are you paying high fees and getting low returns? If so, Annuity General would like you to have this free book to learn the pitfalls and mistakes of buying an annuity. The Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers contains the little-known truths about annuities, like how to help reduce your fees and increase retirement income. And it's free. That's right, free. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report just for calling. We researched over 1,000 annuities and summarized rates and benefits from financially strong insurers. You get Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers and the Annuity Rate Report, both absolutely free for calling Annuity General today. Hurry, supplies are limited. Call now.
800-760-1845. 800-760-1845. 800-760-1845. That's 800-760-1845.
LaFleur Taco Grill at 910 Dundee Avenue at the corner of Slade and Elgin is under new management. Enjoy a huge selection of salads, quesadillas, tacos, burritos, and more. LaFleur Taco Grill also has American cuisine favorites and breakfast. Bring the kids. There's a kids menu that they'll love. Are you planning a party this summer? LaFleur also has catering with all types of both Mexican and American foods. Call 847-214-1306 or LaFleur Taco Grill on Facebook.
If you're not sure what to have for dinner, the Seven Dwarfs restaurant on the corner of Roosevelt and President in Wheaton has you covered. Their huge menu is sure to satisfy everyone. Enjoy the diner-styled atmosphere that's been serving up tasty food since the 50s. The Seven Dwarfs has lively decor and delicious entrees. They offer a hearty breakfast, plus 3 or 4 lunch specials daily. For dinner, it's all-you-can-eat fish on Fridays. And remember to try their barbecue ribs. Visit sevendwarfsrestaurant.com today.
And welcome back, my friends. This is Open Book with the Gail Borden Library, brought to you by KCT Credit Union. For those of you who are interested, you can become a part of KCT, where your financial well-being is their top priority. So welcome back to the program. This is Leah, joined to my left. We do have Miss Sadia, and then we've got Miss Jeannie coming to the table. So first of all, we were talking right before we went to the break about some of the volunteer services. Jeannie is the manager of volunteer services at the Gail Borden Library, and we left it off at the pop-up, the book sale coming up this weekend. So can you remind listeners a little bit about that, and then we'll segue into some of the other areas of volunteer.
Absolutely. So this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we've got our summer pop-up sale. So beach reads, definitely those summer reading for kids. We'll have a lot, and it's all in the Gale Sales area of the main library.
You know, somebody mentioned to me last week, too, because the reading that they're doing with the library, the reading challenge, if you will, the summer reading program, they have it for all different ages. So not only for the littles and the kids and the toddlers and the adolescents, but they also have it for the adults. And somebody brought it up saying, listen, if you read to your child, that's considered reading hours, you know? So if people want to participate, that I was like, brilliant. So I think I've probably told about a dozen people that already. But that's great because, again, whether you're in the summer reading program or you like just to have a book out on the beach, you know, grab some of those. And quite often do people get them at the book sale and then eventually do that. My guess is read it and volunteer it right back to them, right?
We do get a lot in return. So, yep. That's okay.
Right, which is okay because it's about that time. Then somebody else will be looking at it. What do they always say? One man's trash is another man's treasure, right?
Absolutely.
So you're done with it. I'd happy to hand it off. Nonetheless, that was just one of the categories that you have for volunteerism, and that means people will donate books, and then you have volunteers who will sort it out and get it ready for the book sale, right?
Right.
What other areas can they volunteer at the Gail Borden Library?
So one of those questions I like to ask people are, how comfortable are you with technology? Because we do have several different areas that we use technology volunteers. So the first 4 Saturdays of every month, we have a program that's volunteer run called Device Advice.
Okay.
And we switch locations from Rayco to Maine, but 9:30 to 11:30, it's a drop-in program where you can come and ask questions about your device. It could be your cell phone, your tablet, even your laptop. And we have volunteers that we call Team Apple and Team Android. And it's
I love that. Yeah.
Not about having to know the answer for everything, but it's about having to know how to find it, aka Google.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Amen to that. But you're right. There are certain, I raised my hand on the Android one because there are certain things like I might be able to be familiar with something that I could not do in Apple for the life of me. I've always been an Android person. When somebody shows me their Apple phone, I'm lost. But I like that idea. And especially there's a lot of seniors, and I'm going to say I consider myself in this mix, that, we'll just look at something and you're just dumbfounded. We're just cyberphobic when it comes to technology.
Absolutely. So being comfortable with technology is just one of those requirements as a volunteer, but that the main requirement is that patience. Understanding that myself as an adult, if I'm coming to you with that question on technology, it's a very humbling experience for me. So we want our volunteers to make sure that they respect that and are willing to take the time to explain and not take my phone from me and show me how to do it with you running the drill, but to actually show me how to do it. It may take several times for someone to pick it up, and that's okay. We have several of our volunteers that have a following. So, big shout out to that. People come in asking for the same people over and over again.
And you know what? It's probably because they like the way they introduced the topic to them and showed them how to do it. What they always say, teach a man to fish, right? You can give him a fish and feed him once, or teach him to fish and feed him forever. He can feed himself forever. Now, I like the plan. So with the device kind of access, are there any kind of classes or anything that they have at the Gail Borden Library that you need volunteers for?
Well, as a matter of fact, most of our computer classes will run with a volunteer. So our computer classes are designed to have an instructor, but also to have a volunteer present. So that volunteer is going to show up about 15 minutes before the class and check everyone in. And usually we have a handout on the specific topic for the day, so they're going to help with that. And then during the class, they're just going to hang out in back. So you have to realize our computer training room has 15 desktop stations. So during the class, they're going to listen to what the instructor says, and when it comes time for that activity, that's where they're going to go around with the instructor to help make sure everyone's on the same page.
And if I remember correctly, I thought last week or the week before, somebody was saying, that you can even check out computers. So if you want to do a class and kind of study a little bit at home, if you don't have that, is that right? Or check out time on a computer?
I think you're talking about the laptop dispenser that they have at South Elgin. And that's
South Elgin
there at the library. So it's for a couple hours. You can check it out of the dispenser, use it at the library, and then have to check it back in.
So that's also great, though, just to let you guys know. There's different locations, and obviously each one specializes in something a little bit for their location. Right. The one that we are talking about today, obviously, is the main one here in Elgin, but there are different locations. So, but it is nice to know that even if you teach it or learn it, that you can go if you don't have a computer. I direct anybody who says, well, I don't have a computer, I direct them to the library automatically anyway. So I think there's always people that are asking questions, or somebody who might come in there and maybe not been a part of your class, but still is open to having a little assistance. Does that happen quite a bit?
It does. And with the computer classes, we also have Spanish computer classes as well. And we're taking a break for the summer, but then every Saturday starting at 1 o'clock, 1 to 3 is the Spanish computer classes. So we definitely use volunteers for that. And this year we've been kind of issuing that challenge as well, as we're we're opening it up to additional volunteers. So if your Spanish is a little rusty, we encourage you to come, because truly community is what this is all about. So if you're trying to help somebody, so first off, we're going to have that glossary of terms to help you understand the Spanish equivalent of those terms. But then, again, you're comfortable with technology, and people will help with the translation. So it's a humbling experience as a volunteer if you're not 100% familiar with the language, but it's a great outreach. And at the end of the day, you have such a warm feeling that you truly were appreciated and helped the community. So if you want to give that a try, I definitely challenge you to do that as well.
That's great. What about any other kind of services that you have from the digital side of it? I know I had read something about the scanning or different services like that they might do too for paperwork that they might not.
Right. So our Information Services Division really is tasked with preserving our history. And one of the ways we do that is we have probably about 10 years, if not more, worth of work that we need to digitize. And so we have several volunteers that will just come in for an hour or two at a time. And, with anything that we do, we always give the training. So with the training, then you can build a schedule with us and just pop in, spend a couple hours doing some scanning and putting the files together where they need to go, and then get on with the rest of your day. So it's just another opportunity. That's definitely that lone wolf type position that you just want to be by the computer and be by yourself.
But there are a lot of people that just aren't social butterflies. There are people who would rather prefer, I don't mind doing it, but I don't want to talk to people. There's just people that introvert kind of personality.
And we've got an additional position for that type of a person as well. And, it kind of goes with that question of, have you ever wondered how books stay in order in the library? So it's a process called shelf reading. And a lot of the staff does it, but we also have volunteers that do it as well. So if you're a numbers person, that Dewey Decimal System, or we have categories by author as well. Again, a little training on really how we're doing it, and then we let you loose. And so the wonderful part about this opportunity is, once you're trained, you can do it whenever the library is open, but help us keep those books in order.
Well, and that's true. There are people that, and I've done it myself, taken one off a shelf and you're trying to put it back in the, you're not really sure where it came from. And in the about, okay, it was about here, but you're right. People will look it up and they'll, I can remember volunteering at our library when I was in middle school, and I did it in high school, and learning the system and having the cards, because the whole thing is if people could look up a book, sometimes people are in a really big hurry. And if they can look something up and then go find it right away, if it's missing there, it's not put in the proper place, that can get rather annoying.
It is. And then we also have volunteers that do list pulling, and they depend on things being in place, because, we try to do those things as quickly as possible.
Yep, speed.
And if you're looking and can't find it, it does get very frustrating.
So tell me what list pulling means. My logic would be is like almost a curbside thing, like they'll pull the stuff for you and have it ready for you when you pull up. Is that what it is?
That's exactly. Well, when you put an item on hold.
Oh, got it. Oh, and I never thought about that. So I suppose when something is really popular, and if the person wants to check it out and it's not there, they can put it on hold or reserve it for when it returns, or how does that work?
Definitely. So that's one example. Or another example is, a lot of people have the list of their favorite books. They'll go through, once a month when they get the book page publication, and they'll just pick out some books that they know they want to read, and then they'll just fill their little cart and just put things on hold. If they're in and ready, it triggers that pull right away. Other times you might have to wait for that other person to return it before it triggers that hold. So once the hold's triggered, they're going to get an email saying, come to main library, drive up or inside and pick it up, or any of the branches. So especially during cold weather, a lot of people don't want to get out of their cars, so they're going to come in and use our drive up.
I love that. It's like a wish list. Of something that you're going to keep. Now, I do know that you've got lifestyle enrichment categories, and we were talking during the break, Miss Sadia, that the fair was last weekend. How was it?
It was wonderful. It was great. We had a good turnout. Unfortunately, the last couple hours it did kind of rain, but it wasn't too bad. It was a little washout, but it was great. We had all sorts of games. The kids loved it. Food available for hot dogs, cotton candy, popcorn. Kona Ice was there.
Nice.
So if you were there, that was great that you took advantage of it.
And so that was in honor. Do you do that every summer, or was that in honor of the 150th anniversary?
That was in honor of our 150th anniversary celebration. It was the first time we did that big event
Of that scale.
Yeah, to that level, exactly.
Well, now that's one of the public programs. Are there other public programs, Jeannie, then that maybe might have volunteers with it or needed?
There are. Actually, Sadia runs several of them, and during the fall, we've got our Sunday afternoon concert series, and we always have 2 or 3 volunteers that help with check-in, help with, just getting people to their seats, and then with refreshments afterwards. And the Global Neighbors series, we always use volunteers for that. So there's a lot of what we call those big events, and Saturday was just one of them, but the public programs. But going with our Saturday afternoon concert series, one thing that's very unusual for our building is we've got several volunteers that share their musical talents with us and play the piano. So they usually play for somewhere between an hour and 2 hours. We're definitely not a concert venue, and we work with somebody on making sure it's a right fit for them. But to walk in to our lobby and hear beautiful music, there's nothing better than that. It just lifts your spirits.
Absolutely. There's something about the ambiance and the welcomeness. It's come on in, join us. We're glad you're here. Right. It's one of those kind of vibes. I always thought that too. Like when we were at the hospital, like sometimes over at Sherman, they'll have music playing in the background, and there's something about a soothing to it. You talk about libraries, usually shh, everything is like that at a library. But there's something that making people feel welcome and at home and just at peace and calm. It's because it's always that nice background kind of jazzy or light music, right? That they play.
Right. Occasionally, you'll see people dancing to it, or
I believe that.
Like say little kids. We've so many times we've seen just little kids just awed by it, or they're dancing to it. It's so nice to see that.
That's the part I love. I love watching the little ones. They have no, they're not embarrassed. They're not shy. If they got that beat, they're always the first ones out at a wedding, right? Any of that they get involved in. What about some other categories? Now we're talking a little bit more of participation ones. I know you had mentioned something about crafts and things like that. Do they have places for volunteers in that category as well?
So we do. We have a unique opportunity, and it really started during COVID. But we have some volunteers that they want to help, but they may not want to come into the library or utilize any of the other positions. And so we do have call-outs actually throughout the year. Anyone who does knitting or crocheting can help us in a couple different ways. So we collect several things. So we collect baby blankets for our annual Baby Fest celebration, which is every May. And during this celebration, what happens is all of the community partners come into the library, and as you can imagine, going through that event of having that child, it's showing support, and it's showing how the library is also here. Begin reading to your baby, before that child comes into the world, and just get that whole process started. But our volunteers actually, donate baby blankets that we're able to give to our registered participants for that. On the other end, we do kind of the lap blankets and shoulder blankets that we give to our lifestyle enrichment team to give to those care communities. And then they also do something called a twiddle muff. And so it's a little muff, and it usually has little beads or things that those restless fingers can play with. And, that's just very important for that particular community. So there's ways that you can help without actually even stepping foot into the library.
I never would have thought about that before. And it shows, first of all, that the Gail Borden Library's got it going on. I mean, there's that sounds like you have taken the volunteer department and built it up exponentially. The fact that I wouldn't have thought about doing something at home, but it does make sense. I love the fact, that ideally I would have been thinking about the the books and the book sales. And I know when you had your 150th anniversary, there were a lot of volunteers there too, helping direct. And you said 11,000 hours, that just is amazing to me. Like I said, that still says a lot for what you do. We are speaking with Miss Jeannie Ziegler today. She is the manager of volunteer services over at the Gail Borden Library. And we've also got Miss Sadia, and Sadia is joining us as well because we were talking a little bit about some of the other programs that are happening, again, like with the authors coming in. What we're going to do is take another quick commercial break, then we're going to come back, review again some of those categories that you may be interested in doing some volunteer time and how you can do that or at least get signed up for that. So we'll come back with more in just a bit. This is Open Book with the Gail Borden Library. We'll be back in just a bit.
Twin Zeros at 4870 North Harlem Avenue in Harwood Heights, Illinois. Check out the full menu at twinzeros.com. Twin Zeros Restaurant in Harwood Heights not only serves traditional gyros, but also has chicken gyro sandwiches. Twin Zeros also serves a variety of sandwiches ranging from cheeseburgers and Vienna beef hot dogs that have recently been inducted into the Vienna Beef Hot Dog Hall of Fame, Italian beef, Italian sausage, and combo sandwiches. To ethnic favorites such as Slovaki and Grecian chicken. Slovaki is shish kebabs, specifically chicken or pork shish kebabs, grilled to perfection, served on a warm pita with tomatoes, onions, and our homemade tzatziki sauce. You can also enjoy barbecue ribs served every day. Twins is open 7 days a week and also delivers locally. Located at 4870 North Harlem Avenue in Harwood Heights. Check out the full menu at twinzeros.com. That's twinzeros.com.
There's a hidden gem in Elgin's South End. It harkens back to the days when going to a diner with family and friends was where everybody gathered for a delicious breakfast or lunch. Ray's Family Restaurant at 801 St. Charles Street in Elgin is a diner that you'll love with tasty food. The atmosphere and the staff are friendly and fast. They're open until 3 p.m. daily. You can never go wrong with Ray's. Visit raysfamilyrestaurant.com. That's raysfamilyrestaurant.com.
Good wine and food bring people together. Vine and Plate Wine Bar and Provisions serves globally inspired plates and wines from around the world, bringing people together and creating moments that focus on what life is all about. Vine and Plate offers shared plates, flatbreads, sandwiches, and salads. You can choose wines from everywhere, and there's an extensive whiskey list too. Ingredients matter. Quality matters. Every detail matters. Visit thevineandplate.com today.
Listen up. Four Corners Radio is the new addition to WRMN's exciting lineup of highly informative talk radio programs. The show is hosted by William Pellerinos, a nationally recognized DUI expert witness and author of the book DUIs Decoded. The discussions on this program will focus on legal issues, food and restaurants, arts and entertainment, and diabetic health information. William Pellerinos brings on a variety of guests that include restaurant chefs, health experts, authors, attorneys, police officers, nurses, and local artists. Listen to Four Corners Radio every Saturday at noon, beginning on Saturday, May 25th on WRMN. Find out more info on Twitter at Police Project One and on Facebook at Pellerinos Police Project. That's PELARENOS Police Project.
American Legion Post 57 in Elgin, Illinois presents Legion Cruise Nights. Wednesdays, May 8th, June 12th, July 10th, August 14th, and September 11th from 5 to 8 p.m. Come out and enjoy a great evening of cars, food, and music. Motorcycles, cars, trucks, military vehicles are all welcome. 50/50 raffles, door prizes. The event being sponsored by the American Legion Riders Post 57, 820 North Liberty Street in Elgin, Illinois.
A dream that's been cooking for years, Maria's Little Italy in Sycamore is waiting for you to come and enjoy authentic recipes handed down for generations. Stop in and enjoy bruschetta, handmade focaccia bread, pizza, pasta, sandwiches, and more. Dine in, take out, delivery, or catering is all available. Go to mariaslittleitaly.com and see what you've been missing. From their family to yours, welcome to Maria's Little Italy, where food brings families together.
And again, welcome back to the Open Book with the Gail Borden Library. This is brought to you by KCT Credit Union. If you're searching for a financial partner that truly has your best interest at heart, join KCT Credit Union. They're more than just a bank, they're a not-for-profit financial cooperative. KCT members are owners, meaning profits go back to them in the form of lower loan rates, higher savings rates, and fewer fees. Experience personalized service that puts you first. That's at KCT Credit Union, where your financial well-being is their top priority. Visit kctcu.org. And welcome back to Open Book. This is Leah coming to you every Monday from 1 until 2 with the Gail Borden Library. And Miss Sadia is here joining us today, as well as Miss Jeannie. Today's topic has really been about volunteers. And quite often, each week we've been doing the show, we've been mentioning the volunteers, but not as much detail as what Jeannie has been so wonderful at granting us today. So real quickly, I know we've got it's our final segment here, but if you can, let's just talk about some of the categories that you had mentioned prior, and then anything else you want to add when it comes to areas that you can volunteer at the Gail Borden Library.
So we definitely just reviewed our technology volunteers, and that would be our device advice, computer classes, even our Spanish speaking volunteers for computer classes, digital scanning, shelf reading, all of those opportunities, and public programs. If you've got that musical talent that you wanted to share, we definitely have an opportunity for you to share your talents.
And do they have an area? They have an area for a music room up at, I know you're talking about the piano in the background, but I think there is, when I had gotten a tour there, there's an AV segment there. Do you have like people who might be gifted in that? Are there other categories or places that people can learn about that?
You're talking about Studio 270.
Is that what it is?
You went up to Studio 270 for the teens?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a recording studio.
So, and that's a good point. That's our digital media lab, and that is a wonderful asset to our community. So you don't have to be a teen to be able to actually use that.
Good to know. Yeah. And I suppose, too, again, it's a matter of somebody knows their stuff and they're going to be helping and volunteer their time and their resources and their talent out there. But I do like the fact of having music. I was over at the library about a week and a half ago, and they had, well, no, this was probably even earlier in the winter. It wasn't during the winter time, but they had music playing. So I don't know how often that works, probably when the volunteers come in. So if you feel you can tickle the ivories, my friends, you might want to consider volunteering. Do you get a lot of people, Jeannie, that are seniors that are retired and just, you know what, I don't want to sit idle anymore, I got to stay active?
Absolutely. And that's, that's definitely that conversation of what can we do. So it's really that win-win situation.
Now, is there an area, you had mentioned something a little bit earlier about the veterans we were talking about. So can you tell us a little bit about that? Because I also think of all of the divisions that we have that volunteers could be used, that's a good one, and it's the timeliness of that right now as well.
So our community engagement division hosts a program called Veterans Voices. And this program, I will admit, is very near and dear to my heart. So during the week leading up to Veterans Day, Gail Borden partners with U46, and we place veterans into classrooms to share their story. It's as simple as that, but we also try to have panel discussions beforehand that we also record as well. And the reason we do that is because we get more requests than we can fulfill. So this is very important to us. I believe every story needs to be shared. A lot of times someone who has served will come to me and say, I'm not a hero. My story isn't worth sharing. And I will respectfully disagree with everyone of that, because the journey on what made you enlist, or in some cases not enlist, but that's part of who you are. And our service really defines you as a person, and in some cases people travel, and even that part of the story is interesting, especially to kids. And it's all learning about who we are as a country and who you are as a person. And because we really, as a community and as a country, we really thank and appreciate every person that served.
Because you still made the choice to volunteer your work. You did the hard work for us to be free. And to me, that is something that should be given great accolade. I agree with you 100%. So it's called Veterans Voices. And I missed it a little bit. So it's a program that puts the volunteer veterans with students and teachers in the community because it's a point of telling their story so it can be heard and educating people that way. Is that the point of the Veterans Voices?
It's sharing their stories first and foremost. And it's not, we just had one of our veterans who's 104 just had the honor and privilege of being taken back over to Normandy this past week for the 80th 80th anniversary of D-Day. And but I also want to say, his story is very important, but everyone's story is important too. So, even those active duty that want to share their story, we really want to hear it. You don't have to be a World War II veteran or a Korean War veteran. We really want to embrace every member of the community that has served.
And it means so much when you hear it from a person who's experienced it, as opposed to reading in a book. When you actually hear that story, I used to love listening to my grandparents talk about that. Are there any areas that you have for programs? And I'm going to send this over to you, Ms. Sadia. Is there areas or programs there where you have volunteers that run the programs?
Yes, most definitely. And we really appreciate all our volunteers that do facilitate our programs. And these are actually recurring every month. We have several going on right now. We started a new one, which is the Community Sewing Circle, which is going to be every third Saturday. We had a couple of volunteers approach us and wanted to just start this. It's like for people who love to sew and maybe have projects at home, but they just can't get to it. But it's just helpful to be in a group setting and get your projects done. So basically, it's a welcoming space for sewers of all skill levels. You learn, create, connect. The only one drawback is that you bring your own equipment and your own projects to work on. Unfortunately, we don't have all the supplies for it, but if you have a portable sewing machine, bring it on down and get your projects done in a group setting. It's just so much more helpful.
You know what? How cool would it be for somebody to volunteer and then once their project is done to be giving it and gifting it to the other services? I can just be seeing that go full circle.
Definitely.
I'm going to put a picture up real quickly and tell me another category on here. I'm just going to show and this again is just the June calendar. So if you're looking at your screen on YouTube, you're going to see what the June calendar looks like here. Whoops, I hit that by mistake. I didn't mean to do that one. But you're going to see what the June calendar is here. And then you'll be able to identify how many things you can catch here at the library. So you can see it. I've got it right up on the board there. So there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20 different events at 5 locations on Monday the 3rd, 21 events. But you can click on it again and use that resource. That's gailborden.info. And all I did was click on events. And then when you went to the other side, you were able to click on the calendar. So the calendar will drop down. So you've got your sewing circle. What's another one?
And then every first Monday of the month, for all you poets out there who like to write poetry or just like to be around poets, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m., they meet every first Monday of the month. Just come in and get inspiration, write poetry. It is led by actually our Poet Laureate Emeritus, Garrett Mann. So she's very great at what she does.
Searching for a
Then every first Thursday of each month, Writers on the Fox. For you writers out there, for people who just aspiring writers or people who are trying to finish their projects, come in a group setting, get motivated, do your writing, finishing your writing. Any questions? That's led by Bruce Cook, our volunteer facilitator on that. Every second Monday of each month, we have a crochet club. So for you crocheters out there, come join the group and any projects you've got going on, you want to do it in a group setting, this perfect time. 6:30 to 8 p.m. Every second Monday.
And again, Miss Jeannie, is there a phone number that they can apply if they want?
There is. My phone number is 847-289-5840. or gailborden.info/volunteer.
Thank you guys for joining us so much. I appreciate it. Sadia, Jeannie, you did a great job. We're going to hand it back over. That's been Open Book with the Gail Borden Library, brought to you by KCT Credit Union. Have a great day, everybody.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 2 o'clock.
Searching for a financial partner that truly has your best interest at heart? Join KCT Credit Union, where they're more than just a bank. They're a not-for-profit financial cooperative. KCT members are owners, meaning profits go back to you in the form of lower loan rates, higher savings rates, and fewer fees. Experience personalized service that puts you first. Become a part of KCT, where your financial well-being is their top priority. Visit kctcu.org. Each account insured up to $250,000 by Member's Choice. This institution is not federally insured.
With your AM 1410 WRMN Newsflash, I'm Sean Kernan. Brought to you by Skyrizi. Explore proven results with Skyrizi. The mysterious whereabouts of a missing South Elgin teenager have been resolved as Kayla Ubenhan was located in Asheville, North Carolina. She'd been missing since 2017 when she was abducted by her mother, Heather Ubenhan, following a custody disagreement. A crucial tip coming from a viewer of Netflix's Unsolved Mysteries, leading to her discovery. The city of Elgin is gearing up for its inaugural Michelada Festival, Sunday, June 23rd at Festival Park. The event promises to showcase the finest micheladas, or My Cold beers, from across the state of Illinois. A bill is currently awaiting Governor J.B. Pritzker's approval. It aims to change how newborns' drug exposure is handled by removing the mandatory reporting of positive toxicology screens to law enforcement. Proponents like State Senator Christina Castro argue that this will encourage mothers with substance abuse disorders to seek prenatal care. With your AM 1410 WRMN Newsflash, I'm Sean Kernan.
Macy's Friends and Family is going on right now, and it's the perfect time to save on Father's Day gifts. Use your coupon or Macy's card and take an extra 30% off designers he loves, like Hugo, Lacoste, and more. And 15% off skincare, fragrance, and grooming, too. Plus, shop Father's Day specials for even more great deals. Give love today at Macy's. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards concert tickets for your daughter to see that singer who sings about painful breakups. And one song will inspire your little beauty to break up with that beast she's dating, Brian. Instead, she'll date someone who's nice and worthy of her love, not someone who addresses you and your spouse as bro. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
This is Larry Jones, and I'd like to talk to you about my bank, American Eagle Bank in South Elgin. Has your bank changed names in the last 10 years? Is your bank another faceless branch with headquarters in another city? Are you tired of earning next to nothing on your savings account or certificates of deposit, or does your personal banker treat you like a stranger? If you answered yes to any of those questions, then you're ready for a new banking experience, and American Eagle is the place for you. American Eagle is a locally owned independent bank that's rooted in the community, and American Eagle customers are greeted by name and treated with the respect that they deserve. American Eagle has an innovative program, Eagle Savings, that teaches your children to save while earning prizes and rewards. American Eagle offers great rates on certificates of deposit. My bank is located in South Elgin on Randall Road between the Target and Caputo's and is open Monday through Saturday. Give them a call at 847-742-7400, and a real person will answer the phone. American Eagle Bank, a place where you matter.
Progressive presents the Sports Flash on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN. Former Bulls star Chet Walker has passed away at the age of 84, a basketball Hall of Famer. He made 7 All-Star teams with the Sixers and Bulls and won an NBA championship in 1967. In 10 innings, the Red Sox beat the White Sox 6-4. David Hamilton homered a